Today, I'm going to talk about this boy. This boy has been very important to me because he is in the center of the project I'm going to focus on today. But he's also very important because his story looks very much like a lot of other people's story in this world. But before going into that story, let me just start out by introducing him a bit more. This is how he looks like. His name is Joshua. He is 13 years old, and he lives in the capital of Manila in the Philippines. Joshua is really a normal boy. He likes to hang out with his friends. He likes to play basketball. He likes to play video games. And in general, he's just happy about life. This is Joshua on his way to school. Joshua is a very ambitious and diligent boy. So in fact, he goes here to the school even 6 days a week. The only thing is he does not go to school to study. He goes there to sell ice cream to those kids who actually have the priority to study. Joshua himself would very much like to go to school, but it's not really a possibility for him since he has to help his family earn money. This is Tunde. This is where Joshua and a lot of other people in Manila lives. In fact, in Manila alone, 4 million people lives in slum areas like this. And a slum area is characterized by that it is often built and planned by the people who actually live there without any kind of involvement from the local governments. Another thing that defines a slum is that all the people who lives in it are very poor, and that the most basic needs are not met. And it's not only in Manila you find slums. Actually, as I speak, more than 1 billion people lives in a slum. And by the end of 2030, this number will have grown to 2 billion people. So it's safe to say that slum has come to stay. So we really need to engage with it, and we need to understand how it works. But that can sometimes be a bit hard, because the way they live their lives in the slums are not what we are used to from our point of view. Pictures like these are pictures you often see in the media when they talk about slum. Pictures that show some kind of despair, some kind of tragedy, and some kind of hopelessness. So that is what a lot of people combine the slums to. But what we sometimes forget is that these people living in the slums are just normal like us. They have jobs, they have hobbies, they have families, and they even have daily routines. In fact, they also have TED Talks. But it's so easy to get overwhelmed by all of this suffering that we often see. So many people don't want to engage with the slums. Now, I'm a journalist, and I have had the privilege over the last couple of years to go to a few slums all over the world. And there's something I see in every slum. The people who live in the slums are some of the great survivors that I have ever met. They really master this concept of less is more. And at any point, I would suggest any of you to go and visit a slum, because there's so much we can learn from it, and we can be inspired in so many ways. So these slums, we wanted to give the target group to this project I'm talking about a more realistic picture of what it is. And our target group was young people in Denmark, between 13 and 18. So the best way of showing the slums obviously would be by taking them to the slum, invite them, and take them there. Now, that's not really a possibility. So what's the next option? The next option would be to take a piece of the slum and bring it to Denmark. And that was not really an option either. So what we thought was We need to take something that these young people know and bring as close to slum as possible. And what we thought of that young people in Denmark know is video gaming. So we created this interactive documentary called the Slum Challenge. And basically, the Slum Challenge is a very simple video game where you have to play the role as Joshua and try a day in his shoes. And since the thing I'm talking about today is very visually, I think we should just see a small bite of it. Here it goes. So what we did was to put Joshua in the center of it all to bring the slum in eye level with our target group. And by reframing the slum and adding the whole picture, we hope that the young people get a better idea of what the slum is. What we did was that we took all this journalistic research and put into this. This is our script of the whole concept. And just to explain it briefly, what you see in the middle, the yellow thing, is where Joshua starts his day and where the game starts. So from the beginning, Joshua has this very simple objective that he has in his real life. He has to earn money for his family, otherwise he'll not be able to live there. And from there you go out to the slum, and you bump into all these different kind of dilemmas and challenges that is combined to living in a slum. So what you see, all the red triangles, that is where you're facing a dilemma and has to make a choice in each part of these sequences. And all the lines between are how we have connected them together. And all the red dots, all the circles, that's where Joshua ends up somehow. So by adding the principles of gaming to the storylines, we get our viewer to engage with the story instead of just sitting around and just observing it passively. So what is the Slum Challenge really about? For us, it was about a change of mindset. And by that I mean that we could have chose to make just a normal documentary about Joshua, but that wouldn't get us any closer to what we wanted to do with this documentary, because Joshua's story has been told a lot of times before. So we tried to communicate this in some other way, inspired by video gaming, obviously. The Danish philosopher of Søren Kierkegaard has once said following: "Tell me something and I'll forget it. Show me something and I might remember it. Give me an experience and I'll never forget." And that's really what the Slum Challenge is about. Because we wanted to use Joshua as this interactive peephole to give more people a chance to get an understanding of how people live their lives in the slums. So that's what I had for you.